Hey there and howdy everybody. Welcome to Retro Repair Roundup episode. The internet says number 55 for this wonderful Sunday, April the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Our wonderful guest tonight is going to be Ian Scott, Ian Pulpo Scott of Pico Gus fame, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. All Pico Gus all the time, like the hot girl reviews or something like that. Anyway,
since Joe brought it up, is Pulpo like a family name or is it? No, maybe not. Okay, that's fine.
It was keyboard mashing basically, and then I later discovered it's Italian for octopus. Who knew?
Oh, nice. Those Italians, they got a different word for everything.
Yeah.
That's what some.
Wait, how do languages work again, Ron?
Yeah, it's weird. It's well, I'm just mostly thinking of like romance, romance languages and kind of key things on all that. So
yes,
it's sort of like the German word, like Germanic languages, and how they just kind of like just go off on their own weird tangents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Schmetterling.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was gonna say butterfly is like probably the best one.
Yeah.
Papillon.
Flugzeug.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. I think everybody's got pina worked out. And we're just like, no, pineapple. It's fine. Nobody. It's like, you know what apples are, right? You know what pine trees are, right? Imagine eating a pine tree apple. And it's not accurate. What were they thinking?
Anyway.
Language.
Welcome everybody to this crazy show that has already run off the rails. I'm your host, Joe Stroh-Snyder, host number one of Joe's Computer Museum. We also have Ron's Computer Videos.
I know. Joe's host number one. I'm host A.
Yeah, Javier is host. Because he 12 volts to ground, and of course our guest Ian Scott. Remember to hit the like button and lasso the like button. I did the same thing twice because my brain doesn't work. Electrons go in and garbage comes out. That's how my brain works. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Pico Gus. But more importantly, before we do that, two things. One, Trina's not with us tonight. Obviously, she needed some time to recuperate her brain space, and that's perfectly fine. We know she's sleepy, Trina, and all she just wanted to do was take a nap. That's okay. And secondly, let's talk to Ian Scott and hear from you, sir, about who you are, what you're doing, how you got into this crazy little world.
I don't know.
Give us your background and how we got to Pico Gus.
I am Ian Scott, as it says under my video, and you've said multiple times, so I don't need to repeat that, but I'll do it anyway. I am a computer programmer-y, software engineering kind of person by day. I work at a robotics company. We make giant autonomous lawnmowers that roam the earth and cut grass and do it really well. And I work for them. And by night, I do this stuff. So in kind of 2021, getting bored, at home all the time for some reason, and I pulled this card out, Gravis Ultrasound. I got this card when I was a wee lad, and I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, and I had to have one, and I begged and pleaded for my parents to get me one for Christmas, and they relented, and I got this.
Yay.
And I was just poking around my basement one day, and I pulled this out of a box because I never got rid of it because this thing was like super special to me. I did not ever want to just like, whatever, I'm never gonna use this thing. Even like if I wasn't ever gonna ever use it in a computer, I still wanted to hold on to it because it was like one of my favorite things ever. So I got the bug, like I wanted to get this thing working again. So I hit eBay and bought a motherboard and I don't remember, compact flash card and all the stuff, and got a retro computer up and running, and this thing didn't work. So that sent me down a huge rabbit hole, and I learned a lot about the Gus and how it worked. I wound up having to replace this thing. This is the GF1 chip. It's kind of the main brains. That's what does all the mixing of the audio on this chip. And I'll get in a little bit like why this is special a little bit later. But this is kind kind of the main reason why I got into retro again. I've always liked old stuff. I've always been into computers, old computers, but I just like dove right in and went crazy. And as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and like there's more stuff on that side of the camera you can't even see. So yeah.
I, for one, am very appreciative that you held on to that card, because if you hadn't, all these cool new innovations might have happened, but it wouldn't have happened the same way, and it might have taken longer. I'm so glad that you got reinvigorated in the retro hobby, so you're able to bring this this cool thing that you will talk about.
Yeah. I just knew it was worth holding on to. I got another, it was like a clone Gravis ultrasound interwave clone. It was like made for compact. It was put in compact machines. I got rid of that, but I never got rid of this guy, because I just knew, I was like, I gotta hold on to this thing. So yeah. And I'm a retro generalist. I love everything. I have MSXs and Compact Macs and PCs and Apple II and Commodore 64s, Amigas, ZX Spectrum.
Boo.
There's a Naboo right there. So if it's old, I want it.
Yes, I love it. Oh, hi, Steve. Eep. Yes.
Eep.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So that brings us to.
Oh yeah, and
the
there's
next
Jar Jar
question
Binks.
is-
Francois asked if that's Jar Jar Binks. That's Jar Jar Binks. It's a tapestry. It's a Jar Jar Binks tapestry. I wish I could show it to you in all its glory.
Can I zoom in on you? No, I can't. I can. The best I can do is that and make you super big. Everybody stare at his goofy face, and also Jar Jar Binks. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about. Let's dig into the Pico Gus a little bit. You mentioned that you had this love affair with this old original Gravis, and
The love of my life.
and and you had problems getting it working. Is that kind of what led down the road of, well, like maybe others have bad Gravises that we want to get working, or what?
Yeah, I like the Vogons forum is a kind of a big place where a lot of people that are into DOS computers. That's where they talk. And I was searching around for the same kind of problems I was having, and yeah, there's quite a few people. Those chips go bad, or the crystals on them also go bad. The crystals are no longer made. It's a very specific frequency. It's like 44.1 kilohertz times 32 times some other number. And they're not made anymore. I bought some from this one company that had a minimum order, and I've got like 20 more. I probably should sell them for other people, and I have sold them to people that have tried to get their Gravis ultrasound cards working. So these cards, they're I wouldn't say they're failing left and right, but it's definitely a limited amount. Like this card was not super popular back in the day. Like it was definitely a niche product. It was very popular in the demo scene, which I was super into. That was the main reason why I got it. I was really into tracker music. I was writing music on it because I wanted the best sound possible. Sound Blaster just wouldn't cut it. And like it was pretty good for the games. It was really good in. It was awesome for a lot of games. It was terrible. Like the game programmers didn't really know what to do with it. So it didn't sell like crazy. So there's not that very many of them, and so the used market for them is just crazy off the charts. Like if you go to eBay and look for listings, people are listing it for $400-$500. You look at sold prices, 200-ish, 300-ish, depending. And it's just crazy. Like I wanted other people to be able to experience that. And I was on other like live streams, like for example, DJ Hoffman. He's a guy in England, a demo scener. He does these Twitch streams where he plays old demos on hardware, on real hardware. And he was lamenting, he's like, I wish I could play these old demos, and you need a Gus to play them. Likewise, talking with 48K RAM. He's also on Twitch. He does a lot of retro streaming on real hardware. Same thing. And he had a Gus back in the day. He's like, I sold it a long time ago. And I just that's where I got the idea. It's like, okay, let's go crazy here, folks. I've never done hardware design super, like I've dabbled in it before, making, small little projects, making LEDs blink and, GPS stuff, but nothing crazy. So I was like, okay, let's challenge myself. Let's hook up a Raspberry Pi, like a full size, like Raspberry Pi 3 or 4, which is super powerful. And like, there's so many emulators out there that run DOS, DOSBox. There's DOSBox Staging, DOSBox X, PCM, 86box, MAME, and they all have implementations of the Gravis ultrasounds. Like, this can't be impossible. So let's see if we can run like DOSBox and like the DOSBox code on a Raspberry Pi and hook it up to something. Let me see if I've got the actual card for those. So yeah, here it is. So I designed this. I call it the PicoGUS instead of the PicoGUS.
Oh yeah.
This is it without any chips on it. This is one of the ones. I actually just use it to hook stuff up to the thing. And I don't know if you can really see it. It says very dumb prototype because I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, it's
desperate Bodge is here.
Yeah, desperate Bodge is here. I knew this wasn't going to work first time. Let's just make it, because one thing that's really happened is like the ability to make like design and have PCBs made is like, it's so open now because all these companies like in China, but also in the US, like Osh Park, for example, you can use open source software like KiCad to design this stuff. It's like, okay, like I'm going to go straight to making a board. I'm not even going to worry about a breadboard with wires flying out of it. Let's just do it.
Right.
And yeah, it took me a couple weeks, but like it actually got within like 3 weeks of getting my first board and having, I had a couple bodges, a couple things were a little screwy, but it ultimately worked. I was really shocked. Like, I was not expecting things to work that well. Yeah.
It's kind of nice when it comes together, though, right?
Yeah. I was lucky. I was damn lucky. Like, I didn't know what I was doing
because he always shorts things out. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm the other way. It never worked for me.
Well, if you can look like really close right here, this one pad that has like this stuff on it, that was shorted to ground. That was a pad that was shorted to ground. So I had to like cut it and like have a wire. Like,
so you inspired my work. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I inspire people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you inspire people. Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
Scare them, maybe. Yes. Anyway.
Cautionary tale. That's fine.
So it took you like 2-3 weeks to get a working prototype. That is amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit about the my keyboard encoder project I did. Was same thing. It's like I have this Apple III with a bad keyboard encoder and no way to get a replacement. Where's the data sheet? Let's go. And it worked. It was amazing. But yeah, I get it. I feel that directly. Yeah.
It was definitely like, if it wasn't for open source, I wouldn't have been able to figure it out. Like all the open source examples of the code, I could just compile and adapt. And also kudos to the people who like originally did the DOSBox project. They made stuff really modular. Like I was able to see, like an event from the ISA bus comes in here. You can write data here. You can read data here. You want to raise an IRQ, you call this function. So it's like basically just made this little shim. It's like on the Raspberry Pi, it's like, I'm acting like DOSBox when I'm actually doing stuff on a real ISA bus. I'm not like emulating the rest of the computer. It's like only emulating just, a really small part of it.
That's amazing. I love that. That is it. I'm in awe of the insanity. That's so cool. Yeah. It's like, it's just DOSBox. We're just DOSBoxing it. Sure.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like, granted, there's
but you're using that framework and the Pi doesn't know it's not talking to it or that it's talking to real hardware. That's great.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah. It took a lot of learning, like how, GPIO, like talking to GPIOs on the Pi and everything like that. And also learning a lot about how the ISA bus works. And there's a lot of things like when you're emulating everything, like in a PC, you have full control. You have you know exactly what's happening. Whereas your PC, your card in a PC, you only know like what's going through this connector. And so there were a lot of assumptions in the DOSBox code. about, it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly, if there's an IRQ somewhere else on the system or something like that. So I had to work around a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, it was super encouraging, super early on success that kept me going. Because if I had run into a brick wall, like that pretty early on, I don't know if I would have been able to keep on going and just keep on iterating through and making new versions of the card, moving to the Pico, so on and so forth.
Cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about the actual physical implementation of this thing. So it's a tiny little card, and it's got bits and pieces on it. Do you have one you can demo? You can show us?
I've got a lot. So this is my pile of. I can walk through time here. So very dumb prototype. And then not long after that, I posted on the Bogons, and one of the people there said, like a Raspberry Pi Pico might be able to do this. It doesn't have enough memory, but you can put an external PS RAM chip that you can talk to over serial and store the samples that the Gus uses. Because the Gus has 1 megabyte of sample RAM, and the Raspberry Pi Pico only has, 264K RAM or something like that. So he's like, yeah, you can do that. And it has this PIO engine built onto the chip, so you can talk to external interfaces super fast with low overhead.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, let's give that a try. And so I came out with this. This is another design. This one I actually breadboarded first because I really had no idea if it was going to work or not. And some parts of the breadboard carried on. They're on. Put them on this board. This was like a half breadboard, half PCB kind of design.
Looks like a delicious prop from a 1980s. Love it. That needs to be framed and put on a wall. That is perfect.
Yeah, I was definitely holding on to this guy here. And then from there, I went through some other iterations and kind of came out with this is like the PicoGUS 1, like 1.1, 1.2. And this is a design that I still support, because it's a lot more DIY friendly than the later versions that I made. Because due to the fact that open source made this project possible in the first place, and also due to the fact that I'm using open source code, it's like, okay, let's keep this open and let people DIY it. People were after I posted to it, and it's like, here's my GitHub, take a look at my code. It may not work. People were downloading the design files and making boards before this was even ready. And people were really eager for it. And the response I got was just off the charts. It was crazy. So yeah, I came up with this design, and I still support it. There's some stuff that works on it, some stuff that doesn't work. I'll talk a little bit more in a bit, kind of what the next version works. And and then I got a little distracted by this little thing, the Hand 386. And there's also a new version of it, the Pocket 386. And this was it was a distraction, to be honest. But because I wanted to make a sound card for one of these things, because they have an OPL3 FM synthesis, but they don't do digital sound. It's and they have this connector on them that's basically ISA bus, but it's on pins. So I made a version that could plug into it, and it's like this right here. So I basically took my original design, shrunk it down as small as possible, and Ron's got one. Nice. And yeah, so this version I call it the Femto. It's Femto smaller than Pico. So this is, it's kind of a fork in the road. This is an interesting little thing for fans of these funny little PCs. I'm probably gonna make another batch because these Pocket 386s were released relatively recently, and there's renewed interest in people wanting to do stuff with these. And actually, during the weekend of VCF East, which I went to, I got Wi-Fi working on these, so you can use Wi-Fi from DOS or Windows 95 or Windows 3.1. And I saw, Retro Tech Chris just commented. I met up with him at VCF East, and we verified that it worked in Windows 3.1, which was really awesome. So that was really cool of him to have, just give me his image of Windows 3.1. So that was really awesome. So a bit of a distraction, of my thing, but I made 20 of these and I took them to VCF Midwest last September. I met Ron there, and that's how he got his. And then from there, like after talking to people, I made 20 of them. It's like, I don't know if these things will sell or not. They sold out. And it's like, okay, people want more of these. Okay, I'll keep making them. But then I was realizing these things are super labor intensive to make. Like there's a lot of hand soldering you have to do. The connector on them is really wacky. And like I want to be able to pump these things out. Like I want to be able to have something that is like 95% buildable at like a PCB assembly house. Like I use JLC PCB. There's also PCB Way. There's tons of them. So I came out with this guy, PicoGUS 2.0, and this is kind of the current version. And yeah. And it's basically takes the original board, which has the Pi on it, the little Pico board, this little guy, this little green guy here, and it takes that, and the chip, the Raspberry Pi RP2040 microcontroller, is directly on the card. And it's that for a few reasons. It's actually cheaper that way, because this chip, if you buy like over 100, they're like 80 cents. It is so cheap. It is just crazy cheap. And also like the DAC as well. That's something I was able to integrate directly on the board. And I was like, okay, like I wanted this chip to do, or want this card to do even more. And so I added a USB-A port. And what the USB-A port lets you do is plug in an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller. And so you can use like a modern controller in your DOS games directly in DOS, or in Windows if you want, like Windows 95 or 3.1.
Windows.
Yeah. And it's really cool because like old joysticks, they go bad, they fail, they have their issues, and so I want to be able to use a more modern joystick in these games and like use a modern D-pad and just be awesome at these old DOS games that didn't expect an amazing joypad.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Yes, Javier. Yes.
DualShock 4, it'll work on this. You'll be able to plug that DualShock 4 in here.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. So I came out with this. This is one of my original prototypes of it. More bodging. Like I totally got the analog section wrong. So like I used this double-sided tape to stick dead bug, these upside down electrolytic caps onto it. Because I didn't know how, AC coupling is supposed to work. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I'm going along. Like I'm learning to learn by my mistakes. So fortunately, I made this green version, to work out all the bugs and everything and get the confidence to be able to make these. And I also went ahead and I made a metal bracket as well. This one had the 3D printed bracket.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool because you can it has labels, line, MIDI, USB. I kind of miss that. It'd be cool to like maybe stamp. I don't know, maybe a new version I could actually stamp what these things are, because I've had people where it's like, oh, I plugged MIDI and I plugged my audio into the MIDI jack, and or vice versa. I try to do the color coding like using PC 90
PC 97
90, yeah, that's it. Color coding standards.
Ian, what you should really do for period appropriateness, you need those little tiny white stickers that like case manufacturers used to give out, that would like you'd stick it, it'd be like COM1, COM2, LPT, and just have but purposely make them misaligned, like they're just on there kind of at an angle, just slightly off, because that type of stuff used to really bug me when I was young, but now it's like it's so nostalgic.
It's the true retro.
Terrible sticker application is such a core memory for me.
I love it. That's a demand. That's a demand that I have for the next revision. Not a request, a demand. It
It's a
will
demand.
occur.
It must happen.
Kidding.
So yeah, this is where I am now. Like
That is awesome.
Yeah, I basically announced on social media. It's like, hey, this is what I'm making now. I announced it on Vogons. I was making YouTube videos for a while. Like oh, this is a monthly update. Like, oh, I added this support for this game. Doom now works. That was an amazing milestone, by the way, is actually getting Doom to work, because that's how I play Doom. I didn't play it with a Sound Blaster. I played it with a Gus. I'm used to the Gus music in Doom, and like I had to have that feeling of actually playing it on this. So yeah, I was coming up with these videos, but I haven't made a video yet about this. I don't have very many subscribers or whatever. But something happened which was kind of crazy. I was at VCF Midwest. Adrian Black walked by my table, and we got to talking, and like he just went nuts over this thing. He just went absolutely, like, I could see his like eyes like light up. He just got super hyped up about this thing, and that was amazing. And so Adrian did a video actually about my original card, and I timed it just right. Like Adrian said, okay, I'm making a video about this. You need to be ready. Like people are going to want this thing.
Yeah.
So I got a store up on Tindy, and there's a wait list. You can sometimes, like, if you're out of stock, you can actually put stuff in. You put your email in, and once it restocks, they'll email you. And I did that, and just in time for Adrian to come out with his video, and just like there's like the graph just shot up like crazy in terms of the number of kind of the people on the wait list. And I stocked the store, and I sold out in about 2 hours. And that was about 100 cards. And it's like, okay, let's do it again. 200 cards. Put it on. It was gone in, it was in less than a day.
Yeah.
And the next time, 300 cards. That was gone in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And a few other YouTubers have, have gotten Pico Gus's. And by the way, like, I haven't had to give any of these out. Like, I know a lot of people, it's like, oh, you got to, court these influencers and give them your stuff to make sure they do it. It's like, no, they just like literally went to my store and bought this stuff. And like Phil's Computer Lab, he's another big DOS PC retro YouTuber. He came out with a video. Like the demand from that, the interest went really crazy off that. Like a few weeks ago, Adrian did another video from the Pico Gus that I sent, 2.0 card that I sent him, and like you watch the video, he's just totally geeking out over it. It's his excitement is infectious.
I guess the real question though is, in that Phil's Computer Lab videos, did he say, "Hey guys"? Because if he didn't say that, that's, you can hardly take it as an endorsement. But if he was like, "Hey guys," then you got that Phil's Computer Lab stamp of approval.
I think he did. Yeah.
That's great.
Hey guys.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's awesome.
So yeah, I've been working like crazy on this thing, making them, getting them out the door, fixing bugs. Like, as more and more people are using these things on weird and wacky machines. Like I bought one of these single board computers. And actually, you can actually, like, with some hacking, you can actually just plug it directly into the PC 104 connector on these crazy long things. But anyway, like they didn't work on this, so I got one of these and got it working on the single board computers, because they have this wacky system on chip that they work on, so it's not exactly right. You can tweak the ISA bus like crazy, and so I had to work around stuff like that. And as you can see here, I just have a stable of all of these motherboards. Also, big shout out to Tech Ambrosia. She came out with this amazing 3D printable PC test bench design, and I printed like 20 of them. It's been a huge help to me. And like, I put her name on the back of the card.
I don't know what you could be talking about. What are you talking about?
Yep. Just because, like, I wouldn't be able to fit, like, I don't know how many PCs I have, or like PC motherboards I have. Like having those, I can just pull it off the shelf, put it on my desk bench, and hook up a logic analyzer up to it, and get captures of the bus and see what's going on. And I've people have been super generous. They've reached out. It's like, hey, this isn't working on my motherboard, but like, let me just send it to you, just so you can get it working. I was like, yeah, like I'll send it back to you once I figure it out. Like, I'm not gonna like take this off your hands or anything like that. People have just been super generous about helping out and giving reports of like super detailed reports of how things work. And like it's been really amazing seeing how people have reacted to it and like the kind of community aspect of it.
Yeah,
awesome sauce. I am super glad that this exists. Whenever there's a new project that comes out that helps the old computers in the world still exist and do the thing, or not only that, but in the case of the PicoGUS, allow people to have an affordable access to a piece of hardware that was kind of unobtainium or not very popular in the day, is always an awesome thing. So I'm a super fan. I love it. Joe loves it.
Yeah,
I love it. So
yeah, I kind of want to be the anti-gatekeeper for this kind of hardware. Like, I don't want people to be like, oh, you don't have a Gravis ultrasound? Well, I've got one. Well, too bad for you. You're not a true retro PC gamer if you don't have one of these.
Right. Now I have one, and my cost 1/4 as much as yours did on eBay. I love it. It's absolutely awesome. So that brings us to our next segment, which we'll let you start, Ian. And that segment is this. What you working on? What's new in your world that may or may not be PicoGUS related? Do we have updates coming down the line for the PicoGUS, or is there just some cool thing that you've just been playing around with in your own free time that you'd like to share with the world?
On the PicoGUS aspect, like I mentioned, Wi-Fi support is something that I'm trying to help wrap up and everything like that. By the way, the bulk of the Wi-Fi support that was contributed by Kevin Moonlight. He's doing a similar project where it's a Pico PCM CIA card that can go into old laptops or old Amigas, and he's been getting Wi-Fi working on that, and he's been very super helpful and generous. It's like, hey, here's my Wi-Fi code, and he was helping me get it up and running, and he did a lot of work to do that. So banging on Wi-Fi code and like working on stuff like that. USB mouse support is another thing that I'm working on. Is it emulates a serial mouse? So you plug a USB mouse in, you can use a really nice brand new optical PS or USB mouse, and it emulates serial mouse, and it emulates it in such a way that it's not laggy. Because back in the day, sometimes serial mice were kind of laggy and slow because it's like, I don't know, 1200 baud serial port or whatever. It just like runs it super fast, and that was another community contribution. So it's been pretty amazing, seeing people contribute code back, into the project. So like what I'm doing is like being, taking their code in, integrating it in. That's what I've been working on a lot recently. There's always the ever present. It's like making sure, this works on this one obscure motherboard chipset or something like that. So that's what I've been working on the PicoGUS part. And otherwise, been playing with the Pocket 386. Maybe making a version of the PicoGUS that goes inside it. Because the Pocket 36, where'd it go? Oh, here it is. There's this little trapdoor on the bottom, and you can actually put a card in there. There's a little ISA connector in there. Oh, wow. It's not exactly perfect because it doesn't have DMA signals on it, so you have to kind of like steal them from here and like put them through. So it's not the best thing, but that's another thing that people, there's a Discord I talk on, Pico retro related projects, and they've been going nuts on designing a new thing. They're probably going to call it the Pico Pocket.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so that's another really awesome thing. Otherwise, I just been like, I still tinker with stuff like crazy. This right here is it's a luggable, but it's like a 46 DX4100. Wow. It's completely an anachronism in that it's like you see a luggable like this, it's usually like an 80, 88, 80, 86 kind of thing, like a compact portable or an IBM PC portable. But like this is like a more up-to-date thing, and I've been trying to get this to work. The power supply died, so I'm trying to work on that. So that's what's been occupying my time.
Complete with tape drive.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool as a tape drive. And I love this combo 5 1/4, 3.5 inch drive as well. I was really excited to see that. This was like a local Facebook Marketplace find.
That's way cool. Is the screen? Is that a color screen in it?
Yeah, it's a Trinitron. It's a really super sharp screen. It looks amazing.
Wow.
It was working very briefly when I was picking it up, and it died literally when the seller was showing it off to me.
Oh wow!
So I know it'll work. I just need to fix the power supply. But it was glorious. Like these screens were used on oscilloscopes, so it's like super sharp, really really awesome color screen.
That's awesome.
We have a question from the chat here. Curious if the card's USB works with a USB hub, so you can use both a USB mouse and a joystick.
That's a good question. I haven't tried that. I have not tried simultaneous mouse and joystick. I think it would work. I use the tiny USB library, which is part of the Raspberry Pi Pico SDK, and it supports hubs. So I'm pretty sure it'll work as long as there's enough CPU time on the card to be able to emulate both the game port and the serial port. Game ports are super timing sensitive. For everyone who's familiar with old DOS games, you had to calibrate your joystick every time you used it, because like literally depending how warm your joystick was would change, or how warm your game port card would change the time this capacitor would discharge in it. And so the timing is like super sensitive. So I don't know if it'll work. I need to figure that out.
Cool. I love it. Ron, I think it's your turn now.
Oh, neat.
Now that Ian has had his wonderful 30 minutes of excellence in telling us how cool the PicoGUS is.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent. I'm a big fan of PicoGUS because I met Ian. I'd followed the project and stuff like that for a while, but then when I finally got to meet him at VCF Midwest last year, I said, this is really amazing. Like, I mean, I had a Gus. I had the exact one that Ian's got. I had one of those back in the day, and you have no idea, like, all the hours of frustration of trying to make that work in a machine along with the Sound Blaster 16.
Oh man.
So you could have best of both worlds. I didn't really think about it at the time, that it was like, oh, I should just like pull one out and put the other one in and just have like multiple, auto exec config sys setups. But that's the kind of the hindsight of all the years you've been in this hobby. You're like, I could have been doing this a simple way a long time ago, but no, I had one of those and it was really great. And I've got some wonderful memories, because there are some games that honestly, it's the soundtrack was written to take advantage of the Gus and then ported over to a lot of other like for Sound Blaster compatibility, that it just didn't sound the same. There wasn't as much love put into those other things. So I love it. I've got one for the handheld PCs. I've just been holding on to it, and then I've actually got like the regular ISA card, and that lives in my 486 build. And I have I've played with like all the ad lib and all the Gus and all. I mean, I've played with all the different modes, and most recently, I actually have a one of those Raspberry Pi MT32 emulators.
Oh yeah.
And so it was just funny, just on a lark. I set it up where it's like I've got my PicoGUS in MT32, or not really MT32, but like, Roland, intelligent mode. I've got that in that emulation mode hooked up to this emulated MT32, and just played some Monkey Island and played some cool games that have like really good MT32 soundtracks. So
Monkey Island's MT32 soundtrack is so good.
It's so iconic, just the opening kind of the opening music and everything like that. And I mean, it's really great. I can't speak highly enough about it. So thank you, Ian, for all your hard work that you've put into this project.
Appreciate that.
personally, I've been working on trying to get a couple of things out the door. I've got a couple of video reviews. Javier just recently made a new joystick for a completely modern recreation of Apple's not their original joystick, but kind of like when you think Apple II joystick.
Yeah.
It's the one you think about. And so he is a modern replacement. I need to finish up my video for that.
That one right there, this actual thing.
Yeah, I have an early one because mine is like Blanc.
Yeah.
Mine is the Blanc version.
You got the first versions, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a very early one. I've played around with it and I've had a lot of fun with it, but I need to actually get my video finished up, especially now that it's April.
Come on.
April apples.
Yeah,
try to get it out before the end of the month. So I got to do that. So been working on that. But something else I've been trying to do is finish up a video about maybe Apple's rarest Performa machine. And as soon as I can get that out the door, the problem is I've had a couple of different. I had a hardware failure. I tried to buy some software. Had a problem with the seller on that, and some other stuff. So it's really delayed all those things. But yeah, eventually I guess I'll have those things out the door. Just got back from VCF East. I had a really good time there. There was lots of fun things to see, lots of cool people to talk to, and that's really been sucking up all my time since the last time we were all together. But no, it's been fun. I actually something I actually worked on is I made a video that kind of better explains the TTL video adapter that I designed, standing on the shoulders of giants, designed for like the classic, the Plus, the 128K, the 512. The SE30. I made a video that better explains like how to hook it up and what it does, and broad strokes of some use cases and things like that. So it's mostly video production stuff. It's been kicking my butt the last couple of weeks. Plus, I've got a new episode of Interesting Things that will probably be out sometime next week. Unfortunately, I sat down today and talked to someone who was like, "Oh, you went and you saw all this stuff. Did you do this?" And I'm like, "I didn't do that." And they were like, "Oh, well, that's the cornerstone experience of this whole thing." And I'm like, well, it's only an hour drive. So this week I've got to drive back over there. I got to get more footage, and then I got to come back, and then I got to finish a video that 30 people will watch. So,
I do like your Interesting Things videos, Rob.
We'll see.
So
Don't tell Tom Scott.
To it.
I wear red to try to cover up if anybody asks. I'm Tom Scott, but when I get back home, I'm not. So I'm not Scott. So,
not Scott.
Yeah, that's it. That's really what I've been doing.
Cool. Javier, what have you lit on fire lately?
You don't want to know. Actually, yeah, you're right.
Well, the big thing, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, what is the stack of stuff behind you? We need to look at this because this is crazy.
So this is my little invention that I did. This is again standing on shoulders of giants. There was a person that did this like a year ago. It's the front of it emulates a disk 2 drive, but it has in the back a floppy EMU. So what I did is I designed this little contraption that actually allows you to, and also Michael Mendelson gave me the idea because I was doing it in the original format that had a lot of cabling, a lot of things that it was more complex. So this one basically allows me to put, I have a little thing that moves, and I put a floppy EMU in here, and then I push it in here. I connect some cables over there, and when I push it in here, it will, match the connectors, the buttons, to the buttons directly on the EMU.
Oh, nice.
And then, of course, you got your card reader, and this will also go through with a little light thing over here. So I got the big screen over here, and the screens are green because it has to be green because it's color of Apple. And I'm 3D printing this with the text directly over here. So I got 3 versions, and I've been just chugging them along. This is the version 2, the version that has the cable, but I'm waiting for things that I ordered. There's an extension cable for the SD card. This is the cable for the LED, and this is one of the things that I can send out. And of course, we got also the complete version. This is how it would look.
So it actually goes into an original
Right.
case. So you take out the guts of your floppy.
Yep.
And you put that in there. That's insane.
So basically, this is empty. But and I also 3D print the bottom for people that want it, and I don't have that many. That's why I had several of these, but I didn't have the bottom. So I 3D print the bottom, and I put the feet, so it looks like a disk drive too, but it's a lot lighter, of course. So I've been crazy working.
So you can just put it under your monitor, and it's just like right there. That's cool. Joe loves it. I love that. That's
Very
great.
cool.
So yeah, working on this, and I had a lot of success. Thankfully, a lot of people like it, and they're ordering it. So I'm chugging them along. So that's when I've been working crazy.
That is cool.
But it's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been working on.
It's so pretty. I love it. I love
work.
Yes.
Joe.
Oh, I guess it's my turn now or something. What have I been doing? That's what I've been doing. I mean, orders have been a little. This is just this week. It's been just filling orders. Like Ian, I've been struck by the success lightning bolt or whatever. Folks have been just mentioning in passing, hey, by the way, you can get a blue SCSI or you can get this other thing, and it's been nutty this past week, but it is all good. The other thing too that's happened with me lately is folks have been coming to my site to pick up a blue SCSI, but they see the other cool projects that folks have out there, like Rudy's Pico Gus's or Ron's remote batteries, or Frodo Jedi actually has a new product that we're doing now. Raminator V1s for your 128s and 512s and pluses are on my website now. So that's a thing. And people are like, oh yeah, look at this other cool thing I can get. Somebody did 3 or 4 orders in 1 week, and at the end of the week they're like, yeah, you can just ship that to me in 1 box. I kept seeing cool stuff on your website.
That's good. These are nice problems to have, Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am just so glad that I'm able to, as my friend Frodo Jim-1, my friend Frodo Jedi says, Joe, we need to make you the Amazon of retro computing, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Except, I'm not a jerk and don't have a yacht that parks inside my dock.
I was going to ask how McKinsey is going to take half your money, but that's fine, I guess.
But
also, you got to work on squinting more. You got to get that Popeye thing happening.
Bob Darlington, of course, he does the light sound boards, and he has another run of those working on. He's getting put together. If the manufacturer would put the right sized components on the board, but that's a whole other problem. But he's got those in production. So the 25 or 30 of people who are out there who have been waiting for a light sound for a while, those are coming back. So that's cool. And the other thing that I've been working on is, I'm sorry, Trina, and I'm sorry, Javier, but I've been working on the MSI Spectrogen again. Yes, that's my free time project that I've been working on.
I love it. What do you say? I'm sorry. I love it.
What I was doing before was trying to reverse engineer the code using Ghidra. Here, I'll see if I can show it on screen. Just trying to reverse engineer the original code. And I can only kind of get so far. And then the code does weird things that don't make sense because I don't know enough about the hardware. It's doing lots of funky indirection to uninitialized RAM locations and all this other junk. So I've flipped it reverse on its head. Instead of trying to reverse engineer the code first, which is all I really want to do. That's all I really need to do in order to do the one thing that I want to do with the machine. I have to reverse engineer the hardware first to figure out where in the mapping space are these different chips. How does the system address this controller and that serial card and this amount of RAM and this part of the ROM and stuff, so that when I look at the code, I can see, oh, well, this is talking this location and RAM. And I know because of my reverse engineering, this funky function that doesn't seem like it makes any sense and it doesn't actually look like code is actually, oh, it's the CPU doing bank switching crap and things like that. So I can get back into it and do that. The other thing, which I will be working on next week, I promised Jonathan I will work on it. It's over here. I just needed to get back to it is, Jonathan, look! I have boards, buddy. I have boards. I just have to build them. This is the Diamond Trackstar Plus for the IBM PC, which turns your IBM PC into an Apple II because people want it.
Yeah.
I guess. It's
there you go, Ian.
The 3+2 for the Apple II or for the Apple III, that's fully reverse engineered. All of the code is reverse engineered and everything on that one. That I just have to build one up, plug it into my 486 here and see if it works or catches fire. It's a 4-layer board. I could have ground and 5 volts connected. Who knows? Let's find out.
That happened on the very first production run of PicoGUS 2.0s. And I thank goodness I double checked before it went into production. That was the most terrifying, 10 minutes.
Your continuity tester is your friend. Yes. But yeah, so that's going to be...
You got to light it up so it doesn't happen.
I'm fairly certain it's just going to work the first run. It's not a very complicated board, honestly. Although, because I did not take the original board and strip it all the layers down, I had to manually recreate what the inner layers were by finding 5 volts and going pin, 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 beep. Oh, that one, pin, 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 beep, and just manually processing the board. But we'll see. Another thing that's coming in soon is for playing around with is our wonderful friend Mark of Mac Effects has commissioned me to work a little bit more on the Micro Mac Performer, which is an accelerator for the SE and Classic. Right. Although we're only going to be deploying it in the Classic or in the SE version, because the Classic has this Killy clip thing that's required, and it's even though I have some success with my Killy clip stuff with the Clipper Plus, it's not very reliable in the Classic installation. But I have a redesign of that uses sockets for all of the what are the things called? All the PAL chips. So I had to reroute a whole bunch of wires and stuff, or traces and stuff, so that we could socket that. But that allows us to test different kinds of PAL chips, maybe modern ATF style PAL chips for microchip instead of some of the earlier or GALs. They're technically GALs instead of some of the original GALs. And if we can upgrade to the newer chips and do that, that's great. And it also, if a chip goes bad in the future, you can, remove it. So once that comes in, that was another fun one too. That was another situation where I don't know how to put it, but the Gerbers were originally done by Bola, the real Bola. And the Gerbers, when I import those Gerbers into any modern application that I have, KiCad 7 or what's the name of the Sprint layout, which is the one I like to use for reverse engineering. It does not get the inner layers correct, and it just connects all the pads together. There's some weird thing. So I had to take the Gerbers and run them through a website to convert them to like an SVG file, a vector, so that I could then open them in another program and get like a snapshot of the picture and then put it in as a layer, as a background layer in Sprint layout, so that I could figure out where the actual ground and power planes were. It was weird. So that one may actually catch fire because I have no way of seeing if it's good or not, because a lot of the interconnections are just blind inside the middle of the board. Good luck! I might explode an LC2. So it is what it is. So that's what's going on in Joe Land. So yeah. Yep.
Cool.
Busy man.
Recent gets. let's talk about toys for a bit.
Okay.
Ian, cool new toys that you.
I have my one in kind of unwise purchase at VCF East was from consignment. I got a clear SE Mac Effects case.
Nice.
From Mac Effects.
Yeah, because
My
this
trash.
guy has a cracked case.
That's a sad Mackie.
Yeah, he's very sad right now.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, so I saw that on the shelf at consignment. Was like, I need that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now.
Yep. I was like, I wanted the clear ones, and you can't get the clear ones right now. So,
So you're gonna
I was
put a
like,
different? Are you gonna put a green or amber monitor in it, or are you gonna leave it?
no, I gotta have the white monitor. I can't do the amber. Yeah, as cool as that is,
It's so pretty. It's
yeah,
so
it's
and you
pretty,
can put
but
glowy orange lights in it and put it in your front window. You can put it in your front window on Halloween, and everybody will think you're the crazy guy. I totally don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop accusing me. But yeah, that's cool. Awesome.
yeah, I got a SE30 recreation board that I need to populate and do that.
That's right,
It's
yeah.
red. I can see it inside the case.
Yes.
And now I want to get one of PicoGUS recreation analog boards.
Yeah.
Also in red, just so I can have a red inside. I don't actually need a new board. I just want the red board.
Mm-hmm.
That's my toy. I'm really stoked to get that put together.
Yeah. Here's Tom's comment. I remember you were kind of like hesitant to buy it, and then 30 seconds later, I walk by and you're holding it. Like, yeah, I decided to go for it.
And shout out to RetroTech Chris for offering to send it back to me because I had no way to get it home. Tom Barber also offered, but Chris twisted my arm to get him to send it for some reason. So
that's the cool thing about those shows, that everybody's get together, and if you cannot do it, everybody helps you. I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Big biologist said he's going to need to adopt a PicoGUS to PDS, and all I have to say about that, John, is this: is if you get like one of the 630 CDs that has the PC compatible upgrade in it, shove a PicoGUS in that. I dare you, find a way to get that 486 inside that Mac to run a Gus.
Oh,
that's my challenge. And yes, you have to use enameled wire. That's a requirement.
Yep. I need to see this.
It's kind of possible to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Because the like the little daughter card on there, it's a subset ISA bus. That's how they have the Sound Blaster compatibility set up. So it'd be very easy, assuming someone else is doing all the work, to go ahead and make an adapter that would then let you use the PicoGUS like that. That would be great.
Sweet.
I don't know how documented the on the original Houdini and the Houdini 2, like how documented that is, but that it is a subset ISA bus, so it may have everything you need. It's got enough to run mostly a Vibra Sound Blaster 16. So,
hey, if somebody can get him one of those cards, hook him up. I want to see this. I want to wake up on a Saturday and have a video from him where he's octopused the crap out of that. That would be great. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's so fun.
Ron, toys.
Hey. I actually probably my big thing. I came back from VCF East, and most of my stuff is still in the mail. It's coming back this direction, but I didn't buy a whole lot of stuff just because I'm trying to be good, and I spent a bunch of money the previous month buying other things and trying to get things shipped in and all that. But I did end up I bought some things from our friends at Tech Dungeon. They had a great display there. They do a lot of 3D printing products and things. I bought some new shelves. I don't know if people saw my old ones, but at VCF Midwest last fall. They were very kind. They gifted me a set of it's sort of like some 3D printed shelves where they put logos for different companies and stuff on the bookend kind of sides of them. And they had the white Apple logo for newer stuff. Well, now they bought a new printer, so it's got like the 6-color Apple logo now. So that's very cool. I bought a they have an arcade style Apple II joystick that they make now. Grab one of those. I also got it's all in the mail, so I can't show you. I know it's show not tell. I'm sorry, but I can't. And I also got Steve has got those new shirts. That's basically it's Sit Happens with like this broken Stuff It logo.
I need one. Yeah.
I got one of those. I bought some things from the event. But if you want to see what I bought, if you go out to my channel, I made a video sitting at Steve's dining room table. Just like, it's no big deal. But even if it got there in time, if it got there on Friday, it still takes an extra day to get it. And then I've still got to get down there to get it. So USPS is very delayed for me. But if you go out on my channel, the video is called like Stickers, Swag, and Stories. You can check that out. And I've got video of everything.
Cool. And Ron, you're about to get another thing.
Oh, what am I going to get? Oh, you're printing a thing. That's great because my other one, I realized. Oh yeah, there it goes. I broke it. I broke it taking it apart. It served me really well, but literally this is it's like 1 micron. Like it's like you could rub a chicken leg on it and it would turn transparent, Joe. I'm not
a chicken leg.
It's very thinly fried chicken leg. It would it'd be your window to weight gain. Is what I'm saying.
That's what I do. I raw chicken legs in things.
No, yeah. So no, that's the thing. It's like the grease. Like it would just turn transparent like a piece of paper. So
Javier, if you have to explain the joke, it's not funny anymore.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't get it.
It's okay. Unless explaining the joke is part of the joke. Thanks, Tim and Eric, for making that a thing. So, but that's it.
Cool.
So thank you, Joe. That's very kind.
You're welcome. Javier.
So I got several cool things, thankfully, but I haven't been able to play with them because I've been doing whatever I told you already. So I got this cool new thing called Gabe, and I got to do a video about it, talking about making videos, and I haven't yet. So this is basically device that you connect to your Apple II or Apple IIe, 2 Plus, 2E, or 2C, and it's a Bluetooth device that allows you to play with Bluetooth enabled joysticks or all kinds of controllers.
Don't undersell the print job on the controller, Javier.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh baby, this is sweet. So I got this on a loaner for testing this because I got one Bluetooth controller, not that many. So I got it because that's the other thing. This has a small screen and it boots up and it says Apple II and it's cool as ice and allows you to play 2-player games. And I want to do that. I want to test that with a 2-player game. They got 2-player games.
But that would require you to have friends and somebody to come over to play with.
Hey, what about no? No, yeah, of course. And we should take this to BCF and all that and play with this. So that's another one.
Speaking of VCF, I'm going to be at Midwest this year, everybody.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you decided to make that happen.
As long as I don't die before then or something. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do, Joe.
So my last one is this. I got the app ROM XC, and talking about mail, like Ron said, this took like 3 weeks to arrive. So it's not only you, Ron. And I was supposed to be working on this thing some time ago, but it just arrived yesterday. So this ROM X Plus, it's
I was just going to say, Javier, I emulated you. I put a ROM X in a Rev 3 board and fried the SPC ROM for my ROM X because I 12 volts to ground it because I didn't read the underside of the chip that says don't put this on anything older than a Rev 7.
Joe,
Oops.
taking my superpower. You're not supposed to.
You inspire me. You inspire me to raise to greatness, or to whip up like a little puff of smoke. Anyway,
I'm gonna call my lawyer. No, thank you for telling me because I'm very good at destroying things. So yes, I'm gonna make sure that I don't destroy this because this is amazing technology. Just for you to know, and it has a lot of cool stuff. Also, by the way, and because I put screens in everything, I have my little screen that actually works with this. He made it specifically to work with all the ROM X. So I'm going to be testing this too.
I love that adorable little thing. So that allows you to see which ROM you have selected or whatever.
Yeah, and show you stuff, and I don't know, and it's a screen. That's it. It doesn't matter what it shows. It's just a little tiny screen that you put next to your computer. This one goes in the vents and just gets in there, and it's on the side of the Apple IIe. I'm sorry, 2 Plus. So I'm going to be testing this.
That is so cool. I love it.
So that's my new stuff, and I'm excited about this. I'm just need some time to test it and make a video. So that's it. Goodies. How about you, Joe?
Oh gosh. The best thing that I could describe would be this thing right here, if I can get to. I have it buried over here. This is a cool little toy. Who full
I
screen?
make you big. So we need you to be big.
I want to be full screen that way.
Okay, sorry.
I don't need to take all of the story here. So this is from our friends at Reactive Micro. This is an A2 FPGA. It does lots of cool things. The number one thing that a lot of people will probably get it for is, you see that right there? It does HDMI. So this is HDMI output. It's kind of like the A2 VigiCard, but it's upscaled. This will also emulate dual mocking boards, and it will also emulate a Z80 card, all at the same time, simultaneously if you need it.
Oh,
so you can be rocking out HDMI while playing Nox Archaeist with all 12 channels. So
that's cool.
So that is really cool. There's a little firmware update for it that I need to do. And then I'm going to be doing, as you can see, it's the 21st of April, and I haven't gotten to it yet. I want to get this done for April Apples. And I think the only way I'm actually going to get it done is to just live stream it, shove it in the machine, and just run with it, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get an actual video produced. Yeah. But this is the cool thing that I got. I think that this is going to be super duper nifty. It's similar to the A2 Pico that uses a Pico to do everything, but this has a lot more horsepower. It's a Tang Nano 20K. It's got a lot more horsepower, so it can do, for example, live HDMI, where the Pico, I don't even know if it's got the horsepower to do HDMI. I'm not sure.
You can do DVI, but the resolution's limited. Yeah.
It doesn't have the bandwidth to push pixels that fast. So this is going to be really cool. May or may not be able to purchase these later at my website in addition to Henry's website. I don't want to steal sales from Henry. Henry and I go way back. He's been one of the Apple II community reseller guys for longer than I've been a part of the Apple II community. So I don't want to do the thing, but it is what it is. So
something I really want to do on the A2 Pico is emulate Mockingbird. I really, really want to do that.
Yes. The A2 Pico, of course, is not a really cool project. But that's really the only new toy I have. Most of what I've been doing is, just keeping my head down and building. Like, I'm looking around for something to share, and I just oh, that's been on for hours. I need to turn that off. My Moo gun has been on for days. Why am I blurry? Can you fix that? There we go. But yeah, so that's going to be super cool. How does it compare to VidHD? Good question, Eric. Unlike the VidHD, this one doesn't randomly catch fire and break. Do you have any idea how many of those I've had come through my shop that were utterly destroyed? More than one. And they're like, can you fix it? I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, yeah. But the upside again is that it's not just video. It's like it emulates other cards because this FPGA based system has all this extra horsepower. So that's going to be really cool. I love Javier. I love that thing.
I love it.
Very sweet.
Love it.
Yeah.
There is one little thing I wanted to add at the end of the show, at the very end of the show. And it is very important that it's the end of the show for propriety reasons. And that is this. Hi, everybody. My name is Joe Stroh-Snyder, and I'm going to be selling Pico Gus's on jcm-1.com. That's the announcement. So far as that, I have a few demo units that I got built up, and all 5 of them work right off the bat. So, hey, Ian, I did it right.
You did it.
Yay! Man, process to get these
is a process.
It is a process. The main board itself is not an issue. The 2 big issues, I don't want to call them issues, they're just curveballs in figuring out how to get it done because of the very specific requirements are the PS RAM chip. We can get them through normal sources, but they cost like ungodly amounts of money. So you have to find a different source to get them. And then you're talking to folks whose primary language is not English, or our primary language is not Chinese, for example, and going through that process. And the same with the brackets and all that. But it was a learning curve for me. That's cool. But I have 450 of these in production right now.
That is exciting.
So hopefully approximately a week to a week and a half, these will be in the hands of my wonderful builders who are helping me assembly line this, because unlike Ian, I don't have family members who are willing to help me build, because they will look at me and be like, no, you're crazy, I will break it. Or no, you're crazy, I'm not helping you with your weird problems, weird wear band, go away. So I'm having my friendos help me build these, but very soon, jcm-1.com.
Yeah, that one's not going to work anymore.
Starting with a small batch. And so if you wanted to be on the waiting list on my website, you can do that too. You can go to my website, go to the shop page, and Pico Gus is right there at the top under the featured products. So you can go there, add yourself to the waiting list, and do the thing. So yeah, I just wanted to put that at the end of the show, so this entire show wasn't, hi everybody, welcome to Retro Repair Roundup, where we're advertising Joe's crap all night. Yay! Like people like to, they're like, Joe, turn the thing on. And like, so
yeah, I really appreciate that you're going to be able to help out and make them more available to people, because not long ago someone called Pico Gus unobtainium. I was like, no, I don't do unobtainium. I want these as available as possible.
Absolutely. And Eric Helgeson of Blue Scuzzy put me in contact with Ian here, and it's like, so he needs help, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. It took me a month and a half to get to the point of being able to get the boards in. That was fun.
Yeah,
but that was mostly learning curve on my side. So hopefully we'll be able to future runs will be a lot faster, because I've got all the kinks worked out on my side of how it fits into my processes.
But also, if I can mention, the cool thing, Joe, is that not only you're helping the community, but also getting some people that you're helping them helping you. By helping you, they actually are making extra money, and everybody's happy. The community.
It's a process of I don't know what you want to call it, spreading the love around, helping my friends do things that they need or want to do, and also helping me to where I'm spending less time with the screwdriver screwing brackets onto the back of Pico Gus's for hours and hours,
and makes it faster for you, so people can get your product
faster. And sleepy. But yeah. And that allows me to then focus back on doing a little more on the tech support side, a little more on the marketing side, a little more on the what's the cool new project we can do to help get it out into more people's hands. So that's sort of thing. Related side project, Ian. Anybody else talk to you about doing PicoGUS?
Yes, a couple other people. I can't say yet who they are.
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more builders, especially in Europe and the UK.
Mhm.
There's a
may
lot
help.
of demand. There's a lot of demand in Europe. I would say almost half the people that have ordered them are
Mhm.
outside of the US. So fingers crossed, I can talk to some people and help that market as well, because maybe they don't have to pay, duties and taxes to import them from the US. So
Mhm.
yeah, talks are in progress at the moment.
That's great.
Yeah.
And honestly, would you say
Spread the
that
love
that's
around.
mostly just because of the European demo scene and all that?
Yes,
Is the
absolutely. Yeah.
Gus were huge,
The Gus
huge
is
demo
definitely
scene. Yeah.
the demo scene. The term no Gus, no demo. Like there's so many demos that you have to have a Gus
Right.
to be able to play him. So yeah, definitely the European demo scene is massive adoption of the Gus back in the day, and people still want them.
Okay.
Yes. I love it. I love it. We're going to make magic. We're going to make magic and make people's old computers work again and make people's new computers work like old computers.
And make people happy.
I love it. That's my aim. I love helping out other folks in the
Yeah.
community do their thing. And you're all helping me retire slightly earlier. So
I like the fact that there's a lot of these projects now getting second source.
Mhm.
Because again, it only takes like small things to kind of interrupt like life events.
Yeah.
Eventually, people kind of like, it's just like, oh, like I've just got so much going on right now, I can't do it, or whatever other constraints. It's always great to have a couple of different ways for folks to get their retro goodness. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Agreed.
excited.
Hard agree.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. The main reason why they're unobtaining right now is like I just want to take a month off making these things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, being able to spread it around will definitely
But
help
also
that.
you can focus yourself on doing research and development and
Exactly.
make it better instead of just
Yeah.
creating them. So other people
Yeah.
can create it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get you 100%.
Wonderful. I love it.
Garth Beagle in the comments said, "Can you imagine how many new demos will be made from this easily
Yes!
available hardware?" Actually, in the winner of the Meteorics Award for Best Old School Demo, they greeted me because of PicoGUS, because they were able to have a Gus to actually run develop the demo on without having to buy a crazy expensive card. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. And having the old hardware available that allows them to create, how can I put it? I've seen a lot of demos that having the new higher powered machines to develop the demo on allows you to do stuff with the hardware you never thought was possible.
Yeah.
The 8088 mile per hour demo by Jim Leonard and his team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do 1,000 colors on a CGA. That kind of stuff that you never would have thought was possible back in the day. But having access to reproduction hardware and cards to be able to apply that to this old stuff and be like, if we could have done this back in the day, could you imagine? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, modern development practices, modern hardware like that. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of demos, if you're in the Boston area, go to AT Party Demo Scene Competition on June 14, 16. Do it. Yes. I want to see people there using their PicoGUSs for their demos. Joe demands it. That's not a request, it's a demand. It will occur. Yes. Awesome sauce. Cool. Anybody have anything else they want to add to the wonderful roundtable this evening? Nope. Cool. Awesome.
I'm good.
Well, I think this is a good time to put a feather in the cap and mosey on down the trail. Yay! I did the Western themed things. Again, thank you all in the chat for stopping by tonight and watching us be crazy about old computers on the internet. I love it. Very much that you guys do that. And thank you again to Ian Scott, our guest tonight, for taking a lot of time out of your evening to come by and say, hey, look at this cool thing that I did, so we can get more people to know about that wonderful project. And yeah, so let's do a quick round of shameless self-promotion. I forgot. I got ahead of myself, Ron. Sorry. And Ian, why don't you tell everybody where and how people can find you? I did put some links in the video description here, but why don't you throw out some more shouts?
Yeah, you can find me on Mastodon at pulpo@bitbang.social. I also have a YouTube channel at Ian Pulpo. Yeah, Ian Pulpo. I don't really post on it very much, but I want to post more because I like recording what I do and sharing it with the world. So there's kind of too many places you can do it, or you can go to my GitHub profile. That's another place people can follow me and just watch my commits and see what's happening. It's at Pulpo.
Cool. Ron.
Hey everyone, it's Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. Like always, if you're interested in what I'm doing at any given moment, you can check out my YouTube channel or go over to ronscompvids.com. That'll have links to all the stuff that I've got in Joe's store. There's t-shirts, there's all kind of thing that might be interesting to people or not, and that's fine too. But in any case, that's how you find out what I'm doing. So
cool. Javier.
Adventuresinretro.com or Habmaster in YouTube. Exactly. 8-bit tees. 8-bit tees is all you need. T-shirts, nice T-shirts. Almost as
Javier
nice
again
as
is the purveyor this year again of the official T-shirts for Kansas Fest.
Yes.
So if you're going to K-Fest at 2024 this year, you need a T-shirt. Go to 8-bit tees and get it. Or again, Joe will be angry at you.
I'm the designer. I designed it.
I'll be angry at you over the internet.
So, yep, that. And I want to give also a shout out to Retro Techie because he's always cool and stuff, even of being a Canadian, but he's very cool. So that's it.
Where do you get Retro Techie cake pops?
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah.
Joe. I'm gonna have a sweet one.
This is sticker 7 of 14 that he sent me like 2.5-3 years ago. So
Nice.
I just have it up here to promote him whenever it comes
cool.
up. Cool. He has a wonderful place right next to
the most important person in Starfleet. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Miles O'Brien.
Miles Edward O'Brien. He's very much alive and he tends to stay that way. So yes, go out. Sorry. We derailed you entirely, Javier. I'm sorry. But yeah, go out, check out Javier. Javier's got cool stuff. And Retro Techie does cool shorts and videos too. Yes, absolutely. And finally, last and certainly very much at the very bottom, least, is me. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe of Joe's Computer Museum, which started out as a YouTube channel, but now is just me in my basement, spending 8 hours a day, every single day, 3D printing things to shove things in the mail. If you want to follow me, check me out. Just go to jcm-1.com. I got links there to all my social media, so you can watch me be mad and yell at things on the internet. One of my favorite things lately is to have weird, grumpy problems with my day job, IT job, and yell at them on Twitter because it's fun and I enjoy being angry.
Okay.
No, seriously. I enjoy having frustrating problems. It makes me laugh. It is the most I love laughing at stupid stuff. It's super cathartic and entertaining to just have this gigantic belly laugh at this stupid piece of software that is being a pain in my hind end and wastes 2 days of my Friday that happened this Friday.
Okay.
Anyway, no, but you can also jcm-1.com. You can pick up eventually Pico Gus's, Blue Scuzzies, Track Stars, keyboard encoders, and all that stuff because I love keeping old computers working. It's my favorite thing to do. So. All right. Well, thanks everybody for stopping by again. And hit like, hit subscribe, do all the super duper cool things. And yeah, we will see you in a couple weeks. The next episode will be on May the 5th, technically speaking. Cinco de Mayo. Oh yeah. Javier, you better be 8 sheets.
You got to bring it.
Yeah,
Bring it on!
absolutely better. Yeah, you know what? I demand that you wear a sombrero that episode.
That's right.
no.
I gotta
Because if we're gonna go with the stupid Mexican stereotypes,
yeah,
we might as well
gotta do it
go with all
well.
the Mexican stereotypes. I don't know.
I
No,
gotta
we'll
get
get Ron.
mariachi.
We'll get Ron to do all the Mexican stereotypes. You know, the whitest
he's better.
white
Yeah,
guy possible.
he looks
There are
brownish.
white
to
people
me.
in Mexico. What are you talking about? Look at like Vicente Fox. Come on. It's like, yeah, it's just yeah.
Anyway, that's all for tonight. Thanks everybody, and have a great evening. Bye. Click.